In the past year, 2 people have come to me expressing suicidal thoughts. Suicide is the second highest cause of death in people aged 15 to 24. In 2019, 47,511 Americans died of suicide, and there were 1,380,000 suicide attempts. However, 93% of American adults believe that suicides are preventable. It doesn't take a classroom full of people to prevent a suicide. It can just take one person. I have been that person before and prevented suicides for both people that came to me. Using my experience, I want to give middle school and high school students everywhere advice on how to prevent a suicide when someone comes to you for help. Some people may believe that they cannot help with preventing a suicide, whether it be by their self-perceived weaknesses or societal perceived weaknesses. For instance, they may feel unqualified because of neurodivergence, having chronic illnesses, being a minor, having mental disorders of their own, being part of the LGBTQA+ community, being part of a minority, having no experience in helping prevent suicides, being contacted virtually about the issue, or just by being terrified of what could happen. I fit into all of those categories. See, it doesn't really matter what you think is against you or what other people think is against you, because the person who is asking for help doesn't care about that. They're asking you for a reason, whatever their reason must be, and that can give you enough confidence to help. If they did not believe you could help them, they would not have contacted you. With that in mind, I have my steps to prevent a suicide. They are, of course, different depending on every situation and can be tailored to fit what is best. Step 1. Calm down. Understand that the person is in a terrible place right now, and the last thing they need is your fear. You must act as an anchor, whether or not you feel like one. Step 2. Tell them you are there for them and you will not leave until they feel better. Them knowing that they have stability for at least a little while will help. You could also point out that part of them does not want to die because they asked you for help. Step 3. Either tell them to get water if you are not in person with them, or get them water yourself. Drinking water will help them calm their breathing, and the routine, mundane task of drinking it can bring them back to reality. Step 4. Make them promise not to hurt themselves. This can be difficult to get from them, but get some sort of confirmation they will at least try not to hurt themselves. If they refuse or explain their plan for suicide, call the suicide prevention hotline. Step 5. Ask them to calmly explain what is going on. If they yell at you about what has happened, please understand they are not angry with you and take it with a grain of salt. They are not intending to hurt you, no matter what they say. Encourage them to remain calm and ask for clarification to ensure you know what is going on. You do not have to discuss. Listening is more important than responding. Step 6. Depending on the situation, contact the legal guardians. This is not always possible, especially if the parents are the reason for the person's suicidal thoughts. If you can, however, let the guardians know of the situation so they can give the person the mental help they need. Step 7. This step requires the most individual discretion. Continue talking to the person about what makes them feel better or about their situation, whichever works better for the person. In my case, I tend to talk with them until they do not feel suicidal, and then I'll show them pictures of my pet snakes or my pet geckos and talk about the mundane. Pets and animals tend to work well, though I know that some people, like me, are not very interested in other people's animals. Something that tailors to their interests, such as old books or pictures of landscapes, can be more effective. This helps bring them to reality. Step 8. This is perhaps the most important step in further prevention. After this episode is over, and the person either has gotten help or feels well enough to not commit suicide, continue talking to the person in the future. Check on them at least once a day for the first week, and then at least 3 times a week. I encourage talking to them as often as you see them or more. That way you can make sure they know your support is always there for them. Just asking about their day can be enough. These 8 steps have proven successful in my case twice, both of which were over text. Just to review, the steps were to calm down, offer stability, get them water, have them promise not to hurt themselves, have them explain the situation, contact guardians if possible, continue discussion, and continue being there for them. If at any time you need more help, contact the suicide hotline, which offers 24/7 support for either suicidal people or friends and family members of suicidal people. Getting help from a professional, such as from the suicide hotline or an adult, is vital if the person continues to feel bad in spite of these 8 steps or if they present a clear danger to themselves. The most important thing is that they feel safe, even if you have to deviate from these 8 steps. Remember that it doesn't take many to help one. It only takes one person to make a difference. It also doesn't take helping many people to be a hero. It only takes one. Thank you.